There's a very specific type of home that I see constantly, but it's not ugly, it's not cluttered, and nothing is technically wrong with it. But the second you walk in, you feel absolutely nothing. Everything is correct and everything is appropriate, and yet it's somehow completely forgettable. If you don't know, my name is Cooper, and of course today we're going to be talking about why your home just looks fine. It doesn't look interesting, it's not anything special, and it's just not fun to look at. And I feel like this is really important to talk about because I think this is a really common thing that people feel about their homes. They look at it and they don't really see a ton of potential, but the furniture that they have is fine, and so they choose to keep it. But you guys don't have to do that. You can make your home interesting, you can make it special, and you can make it something personal to you. And here's the thing that nobody talks about in interior design. Most homes aren't failing because they have bad taste or super bad furniture that you just can't come back from. Most homes are actually failing because people are trying way too hard not to have bad taste. So they choose to play it really safe. They go out and they get a neutral sofa, they get a neutral rug, neutral art, and neutral everything. And what they end up having is a home that looks like it was designed by a committee that was deeply afraid of having an opinion. And the result is something that I like to call a perfectly acceptable room, which sounds good, but in design, completely acceptable is usually code for completely forgettable. The first reason that homes end up looking fine is what I like to call the beige safety trap. And this is when somebody builds an entire room around objects that are designed to never offend anyone. They're designed for mass appeal, okay? You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, that beige sofa, that boucle chair, or a vase that you got from Target. And you put all these things together, right? And suddenly your room just looks like an expensive bowl of oatmeal. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? I'm not trying to hate on neutral interiors because I genuinely think they can be beautiful, but neutral interiors only work when something in the room is actually interesting. Like any other designed space, neutral interiors are going to need shape, they're going to need texture, architecture, and scale. Those are all super key to forming a composition that's going to feel layered and going to feel deep. But a lot of homes are just beige object next to beige object next to beige object. And it creates a space that feels less like a home and more like a space for a waiting room at a dentist office. The next reason why homes feel fine instead of good is that everything in the room is nice. And you might be saying, Cooper, are you insane? Don't you want nice furniture in your home? Absolutely. But here's what I mean. Nice is the most dangerous design category in existence. This is because nice furniture is designed to be broadly likable. It's not memorable, it's not going to be distinctive in any type of way, just nice. A nice sofa, or a nice lamp, nice coffee table, nice art, whatever it might be. When everything in the room is nice, nothing is going to feel important because there's no hierarchy. Your eyes enter the space and immediately go, okay, cool, everything's equally fine in here. And then 2 seconds after you think that, your brain is immediately clocked out. But great rooms always have something that matters way more than anything else. But most homes are just a democratic collection of nice furniture. Think about it like this. If you buy a bunch of furniture all from the same brand, which I do not recommend, and put it in your space, it's going to feel flat because all of the different furniture that you're getting has the same ethos of design. When you don't have contrast in a space, nothing is going to feel important and nothing is going to stand out. And so the entire thing is suddenly just going to become flat, which is going to make your space feel boring. Another reason why homes look fine is because they're assembled like a Pinterest starter kit, which usually goes something like this. Step 1. Find a picture of a room you like online. Step 2, buy things that vaguely resemble that photo. Step 3, place them approximately in your own home where you saw them in the photo. And suddenly, you have a room that technically works, but it also somehow feels like it was grown in a lab. Because the truth is, at the end of the day, great spaces are not built from copying. Obviously, you can take inspiration from other people, but if you just copy and paste something over and over and over again, it's not going to feel unique to you, and it's not going to be authentic, which is so silly because you are literally the one who lives there. I don't know where we lost the plot, you guys, and decided that our home shouldn't be authentic to us and should be authentic to, a broader generation, or authentic to our parents or our friends or somebody completely different than ourselves. But at the end of the day, all that really does matter is that you feel comfortable you feel safe, and you feel happy in your own home. And one of the fastest ways to do that is to have it be authentic to you. You know, most of the best spaces that we see out there are built from editing because professional designers and decorators alike remove things constantly. Less objects, less noise, less repetition. But when people design from Pinterest inspiration, they often end up doing the opposite. They just keep adding more and more reference points to the room, and then they just end up with a space that feels so trendy and so unoriginal that it's just blah. I get so much hate online for talking badly about the whole kind of like boy apartment aesthetic. I had a lot of people come for me when I made a video on that, but I stand by what I said. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same apartment copied over and over and over again, and look at all these images on the screen. Like, you cannot deny that that is the truth. And I get it. I get the style in theory. I think we've all been influenced by it at some point, even myself. But it's just like, to a degree, we need to stop and rethink because nobody needs 10,000 different boy apartments out in the world. It's just not necessary. There's also another really common reason why homes will feel fine, and it's what I like to call the furniture catalog room. I talked about this a little bit earlier, but basically what this means is that every single furniture piece in the room looks like it came from the same store. You could just be repeating the same color palette over and over again, or the same wood tone, or the same design language, or the same level of cool or interesting, which sounds cohesive in theory, but it actually just creates one giant mess. Because the problem is, there's no contrast. And contrast is what is going to give a room personality. The best interiors out there mix things that weren't supposed to go together originally. I think a lot of us tend to kind of zoom in on specific objects in our home instead of looking at the big picture of the physical composition of the space at the end of things. All we see is that one kind of funky, weird chair, and we don't really know if we like it. But when you go on Pinterest and you see that same chair in a full composition, you suddenly can't live without it. You want to mix old with new. You want to mix sharp with soft, expensive with cheap, and weird with timeless. But when every single item looks like it was purchased within the same online shopping session, the whole space starts to suspiciously feel like the showroom of a furniture store, which is great if you're selling furniture, but I don't think most people are doing that. It's especially unhelpful if you're trying to build a home. And honestly, you guys, the biggest reason why homes end up looking just fine, nothing interesting, nothing special, is fear. People are afraid of making a design mistake, so they start to avoid anything bold. No unusual colors, no strange furniture, no dramatic art, and just no strong choices. And I understand that instinct because you don't want to be left feeling vulnerable. You want people to accept your home. You want to get compliments on it. But it's really important that you lean into that fear. And I know this can be especially scary if we're not comfortable with ourselves or showing our full selves. But if you really take the risk, you will truly love your home so much more. You know, here's the thing that most people don't realize. The most, and I mean most, beautiful homes in the entire world are the ones chock full of risky decisions. Oversized art, weird vintage furniture, unexpected color combinations, objects that don't match anything else, rooms that feel like somebody actually made decisions. But if you're constantly asking yourself, will this go with everything? You're probably designing a room that goes with nothing. Because interesting homes are not built by playing defense. They're built by taking positions. So what actually makes a house feel good, right? I know I've been critiquing for the whole video, so of course I'm going to give you guys some solutions and ways to make your home feel a little bit more interesting and a little bit more you. So it usually boils down to about one of three things: a strong point of view, something about the person that tells you that they live there, and real contrast, not just color. Rooms that feel finished are going to be the ones where somebody clearly stopped worrying about whether every decision they made was safe and started asking themselves, is this interesting? Do I really love this? There are a couple quick ways that you can kind of incorporate yourself into your home a little bit more. The first thing that you can do is take a look at your wardrobe, right? What colors do you see yourself wearing on the day to day? What clothing pieces in your closet are you gravitating towards the most? You can draw from those color palettes to create something unique in your home because a lot of people dress really creatively and uniquely with some fun colors, but then that's not translated over at all. And it's like you're missing a huge opportunity there. Another thing that you can incorporate is family mementos. You know, items that were passed down from either your parents or friends or relatives or whoever it might be that are special to you. Having these items in your home is really going to make them feel like a home in the first place. And if your space lacks any representation of, you or your loved ones, you're not going to feel embraced when you walk in the door. And lastly, don't ask anybody's opinion of anything that you buy. Maybe if you have an interior decorator friend like me, you can ask me, but I wouldn't go around asking your family or your grandparents or your friends or whoever because you don't need their opinion. You don't. All you need is your own. Because once you start asking people, questions about your space and whether they like a certain furniture piece or not, that's going to reflect their tastes and their decisions, and that's not what you need at the end of the day. Your decisions need to be rooted in your heart, or else it's not going to feel like you. So if your home feels just fine, you don't need to panic. You don't need to throw everything away and completely start over. Usually it just means that your space needs one or two decisions that actually matter. A piece of art that might be huge and oversized, or a chair that's a little bit funky and weird. A color that really makes the room feel alive and maybe isn't used super often. Because the goal of a home at the end of the day was never for it to look acceptable. The goal is always to make it feel like somebody lives there and make it comfortable for that person. And I need to remind you guys of this because it's really important, the most beautiful homes in the world are not the ones that are playing it safe. They're the ones who are brave enough to stop being fine. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really loved hanging out with you guys and chatting with you guys on my couch again. It's always such a pleasure. If you got something out of this video, go ahead and subscribe. We have a really great community here on YouTube, and we have so much fun content coming very soon. And if you didn't know, this is actually my job. I'm an interior decorator, and I offer both full-service design as well as per-room consulting sessions, where we can focus on a specific room in your home and work out any kinks that need to be worked out and make it feel like a designed space. There's a ton of really great information about it on my website, and you can click the link in the description to book your first consultation. And I'm here every single Thursday and Sunday at 6 a.m. PST, and I love you guys so much. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me and my cat briefly. I am tired. I'm gonna go eat some food and relax and take a breath. And I suggest you guys do the same. And I will see you very soon. Bye.